In this lesson, we are going to insert external reference files. An external reference file is similar to a block except it is linked to the source drawing. That way if the source drawing is changed, then the external reference will update. To start, we will need to open the external reference palette. This is located on the Insert tab in the Reference panel. The arrow in the lower right corner will open up the palette. Currently in the palette, I can see that there's one drawing located here, and that's just the original drawing that I'm in. I want to attach another drawing in here, so I will click the drop down up top and choose Attach DWG. As you can see, you can attach several other types of files, but for now we'll just take a look at drawings. I will browse to where my files are stored. And in this case, I'm going to attach this dining table. After selecting Open, I get the Attach External Reference dialog box. In the dialog box, I can choose the reference type, attachment or overlay. For now, I will keep it as attachment. I can also adjust the scale and the rotation angle. I can specify the insertion point, or I can choose to specify it on screen, which is what I will do in this case. And then finally, we can specify the path. Keep in mind that we are linking to the file, so this just helps AutoCAD find the linked file. I will go ahead and click OK. Then I can click to place my external reference. You may get a message about unreconciled layers. For now, I'm just going to close that. You will notice that my externally referenced file appears, but it's actually dimmed. It's not quite as bright as the other objects. This is controlled in the reference dropdown. As you can see, there's an option for external reference fading, and by default it's set to 50. If I take it back down to 0, then it doesn't fade at all and it looks like a regular object. You may prefer it to look this way so that it matches everything else, or you might prefer to have some fading. That way when you look at a drawing you can instantly tell if something is an externally referenced file. Taking a look at my external reference palette, I can now see my externally referenced file here, the dining table. The external reference palette allows easy access to these files as well. So if I wanted to edit the file, I can simply right-click on it here in the palette and choose Open. Now it opens the file up directly, so that way I didn't have to actually go to Open and browse for this particular file. So as I mentioned earlier, the benefit of using external references is if the reference file changes, then it will update in other drawings. So I'm going to make a change to this particular drawing. I'm just going to change the number of chairs that are located in this particular array. And then I'm going to save this file, then close it. Now when I return to this file, you can see that I'm still getting the old version with 4 chairs, but in the lower right corner of my screen, I've got a little message that an external reference file has changed. You'll also notice the little icon that appears for external references as well. Once you have something attached, this is another way that you can get into the palette by selecting this button. I'm going to choose Reload Dining Table, and as you can see, I get the newest version here. Now, if for some reason you aren't getting the message down in the status bar or you accidentally closed it, you can always just right-click on the XREF and reload it, or you can use the option up top here to reload all references to make sure you are seeing the most recent version of all referenced files. There's a few things that I can do to remove the externally referenced file. It is possible to erase it using the erase command, but that's typically not what we want to do with an external reference file. You can see after I've erased it, it's gone from my screen, but there's still a reference here and it's giving me a little message here that I have an unreferenced file. So I'm going to undo that. And if I just want to temporarily get rid of this externally referenced file, I can right-click on the file and choose to unload it. When a file is unloaded, it still exists in this drawing. It's just basically hidden. Any point in time I want to bring it back, I can right-click on it and reload to get the most recent version once again. Finally, if I do want to completely get rid of this referenced file, then I can detach it. I will right-click on the file, then choose Detach. And as you can see, the file is completely gone. To summarize, we use our external reference palette to attach externally referenced drawing files. That way, if those drawing files are modified, we will get the most recent versions updated in the host drawing. That concludes this look at external references in AutoCAD.